Ahoy, me hearties! It's time to set sail on the open seas and check out Legendary Kingdoms book number 3, Pirates of the Splintered Isle. They have a Kickstarter coming out soon. This book is coming out soon. They sent me a free sample, asked me to take a look at it, asked me to make a video, and that's what we're watching right here. So let's get started.
Alright guys, so here we go. Let's check it out. Legendary Kingdoms, Pirates of the Splintered Isles, free sample edition. This is book 3 in the series. For those of you who don't know, who didn't watch my first video, you can watch it. I'll put the link right here and there. This is a, just the solo, choose your own adventure type books, like I've been doing with Fighting Fantasy and Lone Wolf. This one's really cool though. It's got a party, and it's contiguous storyline. They're just finishing book 3 right now, and the Kickstarter is just starting. And so supposedly, and I haven't seen how it works yet, you get codes throughout the book, and the codes can attach themselves to the next book. So it's a continual story. It's a sandbox. You can go back and forth, all kinds of crazy stuff according to what they say. And book 1, I was really impressed. So I backed to book 2. So let's just get this out of the way right off the bat. They had a Kickstarter for book number 2, Crown and Tower. And man, it was back like early last year, I think. It's been about a year and a half now, and I still haven't got the book. Now listen, so that you know that they have kept up their communication. They've had a printing problem, just like everyone else in the world. COVID has been horrible, and printing, if you know anything about printing, has been terrible. But they've kept up their communications. I do not blame them for this. Is there anything they did wrong? I don't know. Who cares? If they did, they did. They've been out there. They've been communicating with the community, and it just is what it is, man. I mean, who would have thought that we'd be in a situation with COVID and all that garbage? So there's that. It's not been the greatest rollout. I don't think it's their fault. It doesn't matter if they made mistakes or didn't make mistakes. They've been communicating, and from what I understand, in the next week or so, we're going to finally get our tracking numbers. The books are here in the United States. At least that's good for me since I'm in the United States. And so I was hoping to do an unboxing of this book here along with this video, but I won't be able to. So hopefully about a week or so, maybe a couple weeks, month, I'll be able to do the unboxing of number 2, but we're going to skip to number 3, at least for the sample. Just so you know, these guys have other kickstarting things. They have some really cool stuff, man. They have this ice dice. This is so cool. You can make dice that is ice or ice into dice. That'd be kind of fun. And they have this dragon eye dice, man. The real dice with dragon's eyes, literal dragon's eyes. They went and found dragon's eyes and stuck them inside the dice. So I will link all their stuff. There'll be a link for how you can get a hold of this free sample and sign up to get notices about the Kickstarter that's coming out. And so this is book 3. Let's get back to it. So looks like they've got 6 books planned, and this is book 3, The Pirates of the Splintered Isles. Oh, and the graphics, man. All their graphics are top notch. I mean, look at this art. This is insane. This is like a triple A video game level artismo. Oh, also what makes this game different is, besides having a party, you can eventually, from what I understand, own ships. You can own an army. You're going to have large scale combat with your armies. So pretty cool stuff to come. The map. Here's our world map. We are going to be on the Splintered Isles in this book. We have been in the Valley of Bones. This was the first book, and I believe book 2 was around Longsport Bay. So we've now moved into the Splintered Isles. Here's a closer picture of the Splintered Isles. Got the Temple Storms, Thalsia, all this stuff that's on your screen right now. All right, so just for you, as a gift to my listeners from these guys, they give us this character sheet in the sample page, but I asked the guys if they could make me a form fillable one, because it's just way easier to do that with trying to change numbers and make the video, and they sure enough they made me one. I just put a bunch of garbage in here, but I did not put Blasty McBlasty in the spell list. They actually did that, so whenever you come down here, I'll give you the link. You're going to get a form fillable PDF with Blasty McBlasty spell in there, and that is not a real spell, but you could make it into one. And yeah, I don't thought it was funny they just kind of left that there. They're probably playing around with words just like I did all over here. Blasty McBlasty. Here's our codes I was talking about. So throughout the book, you will get codes based upon something you got, and that will tie into further things down the road. Here's a fleet sheet. Here's army sheet. Some sort of battle sheet I've never been on. Here's some mission notes, and the vault. The vault is basically a way that it's your magic vault. Think any video game that you played where you've got a bank and in one town, and if I go to the bank in the other town, all my stuff is still there. It's that kind of thing. But you can only open it under certain circumstances, depending on if you're in a city or if you've got a certain spell and you're not in a city. You can cast that spell, and there's your stuff in the vault. Now, I'm not going to get into the minutia of the rules necessarily off the bat. I did that in the first video. There it is. There's the link for the video, hopefully. If not, click on my page and you'll find it, my channel. So we won't go over all of the in-depth rules per se, but we're going to jump right into the sample and get going, which you'll learn the rules as we play. Trust me. Here's our characters that we get to choose from. We pick 4 of these guys. Last time I took Tiquan and Sarah Jessica Dane. Now they've gotten a little bit beefier since I did my book 1. Their numbers have moved up, which makes sense because they are leveling up if they're still alive in this book. You've got Amelia Pasdane, which is the half sister of the Honorable Sarah Jessica Dane, and she's not very well liked by her dad. Tasha, which is kind of a buccaneer. Akiro of Chalice, and Brash. And they all kind of have their own roles if you want to pick them. Now you can only pick 4 of these 6, and so I'm going to pick 4 of these here in a second. They did mention, they commented on my last video that a person could create their own character if they wanted to. I don't have any details on that just yet, and I don't see anything in the sample book that necessarily tells you how to do that. So I don't know. It's possible. I can get you more information later if you really want to do that. But as I thought about it, I think I'd rather have more of the balanced stuff that the authors wrote, just to make sure I don't get either in over my head or just overpower the book and it's not fun. So yeah, we'll go over all this stuff as we play. We're going to skip over all the rules. Now listen, check this out. I'm going to pick my guys, pick my starting characters, and then I'll skip over all of that, and then we'll start the adventure. But just look at this sample. This is a free sample y'all can get. It's very nice. It's like 56 pages of free samples with a neat little back page that has a pretty picture. So it's a nice little sample. And from what they say in the introduction, if you want to continue after this sample, all you got to do, yeah, man, if you want to, it's a mini version of the book, but it's the real book, I think. There's a lot more to do in the complete book, so you can transfer your guys straight into the real book if you buy the book. So, check it out, see what you think, maybe buy the book. Okay, so character selection. Here's what I went with. Unfortunately, I left Jessica behind this time. Jessica is my absolute favorite fighter, and I'm all into fighting, big fighters and tough fighters and all that stuff. That's cool, and I loved her last time. But I want to go with a little bit of a different flair. So Jessica, she, she wasn't feeling well. Stomach flu. And so instead I took Amelia, which I took last time. Amelia is a spellcaster. She's more like a druid-ish ranger type. I took Tiquan, of course, the 2 spellcasters. He's more of just straight up wizard. And then I took Akihiro and Brash. Both these guys left behind. I took Tasha last time because she was more of a sneaker puss. Brash is just basically, he's got some sneaking. These 2 dudes are kind of cool and weird. They're not great at anything. Well, they kind of are, but not anything that I would think I will need, but maybe I will. Brash is pretty good at stealth with a 5, and he's, Mr. Good Looks, charisma. Look at that. Look at that. Hey. Look at them pearly whites. And then Akiro is kind of a fighter and a survivor. So his fighting's 5, which is decent, and his survival is 7, which is good. And he's got good health. Brash has got good health too. So back to the sheet. Where'd I put it? Sheet. Where'd you? Come on, man. Yeah, here's my 4 that I took, and then according to the book, I get 3 spells with the spellcasters, and of course, I took both my spellcasters. So, and I wrote down what I took. So I went TQ. Taquan is straight up combat. There's different kinds of spells. There's combat spells, there's adventure spells, and there's mass combat spells, which you do in a large group. The combat's combat, obviously. Adventure, it can only be done in an adventure. Some are adventure and combat, which I'll show in a second. So TQ's got the Ice Bolt, which boom, it makes him like a fighter 8. So he's still got to roll with that. So it's not the greatest, but eight's a good number. Unfailing Strike, it's an automatic hit for 3 health. Poison Strike, it gets 2 attacks at 5 with 2 different opponents. So that's cool. I gave Amelia most of the just the support and healing. Armor from Heaven, it's a +3 armor buff for 1 battle for 1 person. Soothing Touch 5, that's healing 5 in or out of combat, so that's an adventure or a combat spell. And then Wolf Spirit will allow you 3 auto successes, and you'll see how that works in a minute if you're making a survival check. If you fail a survival check, you can call your Wolf Spirit to help you survive, give you 3 extra automatic successes for 1 survival check. And that sounds confusing, but I'll show you how that works in a minute. No money, no equipment, I think. Pretty sure these guys are, once again, find themselves slaves. Let's get started. Shipboards creak as they are pounded by the relentless waves of the Sao Gale Straits. A single ship's lamp illuminates the hold, dank and smelly with human bodies. Chains rattle and a nearby Roycian sailor heaves again, his dark vomit splashing the deck. His comrades twisting in their bonds to avoid the foul stream. The pirates haven't checked on you for hours. 80 prisoners crushed together like fish catch. Some dying, some ill, all afraid. How did it come to this? You glance at your companions. At least you have all regained consciousness now, but still you list in your chains, fighting concussion. You fought back to back as the rest of the crew fell, but surrounded and outnumbered, nets were hurled upon you by the vicious pirates before you were clubbed unconscious. Since then, you have been here, in the hold of the old Carrack, the Tenebraus, prisoners or slaves of the terrible sea brigands. Your equipment and money have been stolen, and now you are being taken somewhere. At first, you thought you were being taken north to the dark port of Dosus, to be sold in the brutal colony of Drake Hallow. Instead, the ship follows the currents, deeper west into the straits. Where are you going, and what will be your fate? Light bursts into the hold as the hatch above the ladder is swung open. Men and women from across the sea, dressed in leather and cotton, sabers hung at their belts, slide down the ladder, one gripping a bright lantern. She shines the lantern right into your grimacing faces. All clearly, Quang, she spits through yellow teeth. A great bald man of Drake Hallow slides down, tall and scarred, a curved falchion at his back. He steps forward and grasps one of the prisoner's faces. "Back up!" he snarls, thrusting the poor man to the black wall, his chains clanking as he is shoved. He gazes up at the hatch expectantly. Another man in a great weathercoat leaps down. His descent through the air is weirdly slow, but he still lands heavily. 6.5 feet tall, the Roycian man sports an elegant beard and cold blue eyes, which seem to glow in the lantern light. There is something wrong with his face. His forehead looks burnt, and his eyebrows look diabolically curved. "A decent catch, Captain Pryor," cackles the woman. "They should survive the work longer than the last batch." "Watch your wittering, Maud," growls the captain, his bright eyes casting across his prisoners. "No loose talk here. They'll do. Keep them at Mortlock until I send word. There's no point swamping the site with dying men." The captain spins on his heel to leave, his coat briefly parting as he turns. You catch sight of several tiny, imp-like creatures clinging to his body. His torso is unclothed beneath his coat, and his flesh looks red raw from bites. "Captain August Pryor," calls out a deep, commanding voice. You twist your head to look upon a tall Thalsian man pulling against his chains. His sister is chained beside him, no less happy to be in chains than he is. Yes, I know you, Captain Pryor. I am the suzerain's man, Captain Pryor, and you are a buccaneer of Thalsia. It is forbidden for you to enslave or imprison the men of Thalsia by virtue of your letter of marque. You are a servant of Thalsia, and I demand you release my sister and I at once. Captain Pryor freezes in place throughout the man's speech. At its conclusion, he slowly turns and approaches him. He raises a hand to caress the Thalsian man's cheek. His hand is skinless and wet. Long, sinister tendons project from the back of his wrists to slither bloody tracks across the prisoner's cheek. Will I serve a new master now, Tayo? He says softly. Suddenly, Captain Pryor's jaw distends hideously, and a blast of blue-white light jets from his throat. The light encompasses Tayo, and the tall Thalsian man screams in pain. Ah! His sister rips at her chains, howling in anger. By the time the light is lifted, Tayo is a tattered skeleton, stretched over with shriveled dark skin. The dead man's sister writhes in her chains, uttering dreadful curses and threatening revenge. Don't grieve, woman, growls the terrible captain. His death was quick. Much quicker than yours will be. At that, Captain Pryor climbs out of the hold, his men following him, to the sounds of the sobbing Thalsian. You sail for many days, trapped in the stinking hold. One evening, a terrible storm rips across the sea, sending the boat bobbing like a tossed cork. The solitary lantern that sheds light in the hold slips its hook, and it is only the quick thinking of the Thalsian woman who stamps out the spilt flames that saves the ship. In the darkness of the hold, you learn the names and stories of your fellow slaves. The sister of Tayo, the murdered man, is called Lebechi. She hails from the capital city of the islands, and her rage at Captain Pryor has not diminished. She is a counselor of the suzerain, the lead citizen of Thalsia, who speaks for his people in international affairs. She and her brother were sailing back from Castris in the West Splints when they were intercepted by the pirates. We must find a way out of our chains, growls Lebechi. The suzerain must be informed of Pryor's treachery. A young man named Marcello, a sailor from Pendrelor, asks the question everyone once answered. What kind of man is that, Captain? He whispers. He seemed more monster than man. I know you Thalsians are fond of your privateers, but surely even you wouldn't employ such a creature. He's changed, admits Lebechi. Perhaps he has become a sorcerer, or a dark evil from the desolation has claimed him. I do not care. He must pay for his crimes against my brother, against my people. That could be easier said than done, you caution. But it sounds like we are being taken somewhere, a prison of some sort. That means they will have to unchain us at some point during the transfer. Aye, but we should be careful, warns Marcella. They expect us to make a break for it. We should wait until they are least expecting it, and then make our play to escape. A sudden lurch in the ship causes you to swing in your chains. Roars, orders, and the sound of stamping feet from the deck above resound in the hold. The heavy clank of a long chain rumbles through the hole. The anchor's down, mutters Marcello. Wherever we were bound, we're here. Sure enough, half an hour later, the hatch is swung open again. Half a dozen pirates come sliding down the ladder, their growls and grumbles almost drowned out by the cries of seagulls circling above the ship. No funny business or we'll stick ya, threatens Maud, jangling the keys to your chains. A pair of long port prisoners are released first and forced to climb the ladder to the deck, where they are hauled up by another pair of pirates above. Once the prisoners are safely moved to the deck, Maud approaches you. 2 members of your party are unlocked from their chains, and you are shoved towards the ladder and ordered to climb. There are 6 pirates in the hold, and at least 2 above you. This is not the time. Just climb the ladder. You clamber up the ladder towards a blazing blue sky. You are helped the last few feet up by the muscly pirates standing on either side of the hatch, who grab your arms and haul you up on the deck by your armpits. The pirates, a cosmopolitan crew of Roycians, Valleymen, and men of Drake Hallow, are all business this morning. They are lining up the prisoners and binding their hands with rope as they emerge in dribs and drabs from the hold. Ahead of you lies a gorgeous tropical island surrounded by white sand and blue sea. A rich forest of segmented trees covers the land, from which a score of red and blue birds chitter and swoop. You can see Li Kuang striding about the ship, barking orders, but there is no sign of Captain Pryor, or his feared great ship, the Fury. Perhaps he has sailed on to other conquests. You are being bound in a hurry with almost 80 prisoners to process. The pirates are tying your hands quickly. Thinking fast, you attempt to cross your wrists in such a way that will create gaps in the knots. Each party member can attempt the following skill check. Weaken your bind. The skill and difficulty check are stealth and a 4 or above. You need 3 successes to weaken your binds. Okay, so this is how this works. My stealth is a 3, Brash has got a 5, and Akiro's got a 4. This is how many dice I roll, to 6-sided dice that I roll to see if I succeed. I need 3 successes, and a success is getting the difficulty check or above, which is 4 or plus. So 50% chance to roll most of these guys. So this guy's got 3. So Amelia has a 3. We're going to roll. And she doesn't get it. She gets 1 success. So she is not loosening her binds. What do we got? 3 for Tiquan. Oh, he almost did it. And we have 4 for Akiro. Akiro loosens his binds, weakens binds, and Brash gets 5. Brash. So we did get one. Cool. Once all the prisoners are on deck and bound, you are escorted in groups of 10 to the jolly boats for transport to shore. Fortunately, your entire party are transferred in a single group on one boat, along with Labici and Marcello, who were chained up near you. There are still 4 armed pirates in the boat, making escape seem difficult. However, they do seem rather distracted. "Oh, haven't they come out to meet us?" growls one of the gazing along the shoreline. "I thought Li Kuang used the blue smoke." "It's 2 miles to the camp," says the other. "Maybe they're still on the way. Took an hour to get the slaves ready. They had time." "No, something's up." During this distraction, each party member with loose binds can loosen the binds of another person, either a fellow party member or Labici or Marcello. The jolly boat is now about halfway between the island and the ship. Akiro, knowing Amelia is the next best fighter, unties her as they begin to try to overpower the crew. You've been prisoners quite long enough. Akiro and Amelia, with their wrists free, lunge at the pirates. Labici would have been 2. Marcello would have been 1. But let's see. So I need to add up all my fighting dice between my 2 guys. It's a team check. And I have to get a 4+. If I get 7 of them, I overpower these 4 pirates. So Amelia has a 4 in fighting. Akira has a 5. So I get 9. I have a little bit more, better than a 50% chance to get 4 or plus, 4 or above. Is that correct? Is that what that said? 4 above, yes. 9, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. It was always a long shot. You failed to get a strong grapple on the pirates, who beat you down cruelly. Any party member that made the fighting check loses 2 health as they are kicked and punched into submission. Snarling at you to be still, the pirates rebind your hands. Cross off any loose binds your party members may have, including party members who didn't join in on the skill check. The pirates are wary of you now. Beaten and bleeding, you remain silent as the pirates row you to shore. The pirates beach their boat, ordering you out at the point of a saber. The sand is warm on your bare feet. Your boots were taken along with your other valuables as you gaze at the wall of trees just ahead of you. A single trail runs through the woodland, and imminently you are commanded forwards, plunging into the forest with 2 pirates at the head and 2 behind. The pirates seem on edge. It is clear that they were expecting someone to meet them, but no one from their camp has joined them. The forest is heavy with moisture, and soon your foreheads are speckled with sweat. Eventually your column comes to a split in the trail, and the pirates give a loud curse. "Which way is it now? Dan Borka, where the hell is he?" swears one. "Calm yourself. The island's no more than a league on each side. We'll find the camp," assures his friend, although uncertainty weighs heavy in his voice. "The left path looks the most used. Come on." The pirates look nervous as you make your way down the trail. Your feet now muddy from the soft ground. Suddenly a pirate ahead of you gives a great cry. Ah! He has become stuck in the mud and is sinking. He could not free himself. "Sinking sand," spits his companion, scrabbling away. "Everyone back!" "Damn you, Willie Freeman! Get me out! Help me! Damn you!" cries the desperate sinking pirate. "Sorry, Bill. You're done for. No hard feelings," replies Freeman as Bill sinks to his waist. It is a terrible sight to watch a man slowly drawn to his death. "Get out of my way, I will help him," says Brash. You cannot watch the man die. "By the gods, I'll get him out of there if you won't. Untie me!" "You think we're simpletons?" "Damn it, Willie. Let him try, you son of a bastard goat," roars Bill, desperately sinking deeper. Willie seems to search his conscience for a few moments before reluctantly untying your hands. "Any fun business and I'll stick your friends, got it?" You take the rope that was binding you, a length of just 3.5 feet. "Give me some more rope," you command, straightening out the length. "And untie the rest of your friends? No chance. That's all you're getting." Trying to rescue the pirate with such a short length of rope will be extremely dangerous. Willie is clearly a villain and a fool, but you'll have to do your best. You nervously wade through the mud towards Bill, your footing uncertain. You'll need to be close to pull him out. 3 successes on a survival, 3+. There's literally no way. You wade as near to Bill as you dare. Nervous of falling into the mud, you throw the rope and Bill grasps it. But its short length gives you a bad position for heaving. Your back bent and your legs crooked. You slip into the mud, dropping the rope. By the time you have regained your footing, Bill has sunk further and you can barely stand straight, let alone heave. Soon he begins to panic and sinks faster, his head submerging, uttering threats that turn to gurgles of terror. He is gone. You are still shaken as you stagger from the sludge. Willie, taking advantage of your weakened state, quickly rebinds your hands. "Satisfied? Just wait, idiot, and be thankful you still have your life. We're taking the other path." The deeper along the trail the pirates lead you, the more unsettled they become. Eventually, Freeman calls a halt to the column as he spies something in the bushes. Drawing his sword, he approaches what looks to be a mangled body. You cannot see much from where you are standing, but it looks to be missing a head and arm. Willie Freeman goes white and stamps back to his comrades. "Something's happening on this island," he says grimly. "I think we need to head back to the ship." "King will have our guts for garters if we return with the slaves," objects one, a dark-bearded pirate named Jason. "Maybe Willie is right. I don't like this place. And the birds have stopped singing," says the third pirate. "They've stopped singing because they're unused to men, that's all," insists Jason. But his words are interrupted by a rustling sound. You turn quickly. Something large crashed through the undergrowth, sending branches and bushes swaying. But there is no sign of it now. "To the ship," insists Willie. "Gang can take care of the slaves himself if he wants. Things aren't right here." Willie orders the column to turn about, but even as he does so, another shape smashes through the undergrowth. The vegetation seeming to shake and recoil. You see a flash of white bone and rotten skin. "Untie us," you mutter to Willie. "Thought chance," says Willie, his eyes scanning the bushes, saber drawn. "You're going to die here, Willie Freeman, unless you untie us and let us help you," you hiss sharply. Okay, so this is a team check to convince Willie. Team checks mean I have to pick 2 of my 4 group, and charisma is the skill. So let's find our 2 most charismatic people, which we know is Brash and Doesn't matter. Brash and Amelia. So that'll be 10 is our total. We have to get 4 successes, and we have to get a 4 or above. So 10 and a 4. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Finally, we passed. Another rustle in the bushes has Willie convinced. Damn it, fine, fine. He spits, slicing your bonds free. You quickly go to untie your companions, your fingers trembling as the sounds of rustling come from all around. The whole party now count as having loose binds, including Labici and Marcello. If you have the code C3, a pirate will throw one of your party members a knife to defend yourselves. It is not long until your stalkers make themselves known. All at once the attack comes. Creatures burst from the bushes, predator-like, eager for the kill. They howl like wind through pipes, decayed larynxes rattling. At first they look like starving animals, thin as rakes, injured and unwell. Only once your initial shock has passed do you see the awful, full details. Each horrid beast seems to be a conjoined collection of body parts. Some have the bodies of wolves, but the claws and heads of island panthers. Some are cat-like, with ghastly human limbs, sometimes more than 4, weirdly fused into their rotting flesh. The most disturbing has a half-rotten human head attached to a direwolf's body, sharp claws on its forearms, with an extra set of human arms projecting from its shoulders. Willie Freeman, paralyzed with terror, is leapt upon, his throat erupting in blood and his sword scattering from his grasp. Akiro grabs the saber. Ordering the survivors into a circle, you prepare to hold off the attack. Okay, so Akiro now has a saber. Oops. Saber +1. This is really good because this is actually a +2, because one of the rules of combat is if you do not have a weapon, you have a -1 to your fighting skill, which that's 1 less die that you get to roll. So the way it works is our party always gets to go first, and we just go down the list and we can pick anybody on this list and we try to attack them. So Labici has 4, and Marcello has 3. I will assume that those are the numbers without a -1 penalty. So we'll start down the list. Amelia could cast a spell, but it is awfully early in the adventure, and one of her spells is healing +3, which, you know, she could heal, or +5 to heal with Soothing Touch. Akiro is hurt, so she should probably save that, but he's only hurt 2. She's hurt 2. She could try to boost her someone's armor, but once these are spent, they're spent, and then she has to pay money to get them back in town, I believe. Or maybe not in town. Maybe she has to pay money, but I think we're just going to have her attack. She attacks, and this is the defense score that she has to beat with her attacks, and this is the amount of health. So she's going to grab this crawling conjoined. She's going to whack at the crawling conjoined. Her fighting is 4, which is a -1 for because of no weapon. So she has 3. So she gets 3, and 2 of them are 4 or above. Right? That's good. 2 of them are 4 above. So because 2 of them are 4 above, she does 2 damage. So conjoined is a 6. Let me keep track of that somehow. Crawler 6. Tiquan, man, I think Tiquan's just like, he only gets 1 attack. He could just automatically hit somebody with this 1. Again, it's early, and bam, that's 5 fighting. That's 2 big fights, 2 big attacks. Let's just let him smash somebody in the face right now. He's going to also try to smash the conjoined twin, crawling conjoined. So he gets 1. Let's see if he hits. He just tries to punch. He misses. Good job, Tiquan. Kiro now has a 5, which is also a 6. He would only have a 4, but he has a weapon. So he gets 6. And let's just try to finish one of these guys off. So he's going to do 6. He's going for the crawler. Oh man, 1, 2, 3, 4. So he gets 4 points against the crawler. Nice. And Brash gets 2 dice because of no weapon. And he gets 1. Whew. This guy's down to 1. And I just remember that. And then Labici's going to attack. She gets 4. Man, it seems like a waste. We got to do it. 4. She's going to do it. We got to get rid of one of these guys. 4. Boom. She misses. Totally. Terrible. And then Marcelo, Marcelo's a stud. So the crawler is dead. And now it's the bad guy's turn. So the way that works is here's how many of the attacks they get, and this is what they have to do to hit you. So we're going to go down the list. Man-headed conjoined is going for Amelia, 6. 2, 3. He does 3 damage. Yep, 4 plus, right? 3 damage to Amelia. Woo. Good thing that was only 1 attack there. The other guy, I think that's how it works. Let me double check. Starting with the first opponent on the list, make an attack with each opponent in order. If they score any hits, decide which party member has been hit. So yeah, we're going to decide not to kill Amelia. That's what we're going to decide. All right, so Man-headed's done. Crawling's dead. Claude is going to go for Tiquan. Wish I could attack my 2 NPCs I don't care about. 5. Tiquan takes 4 damage. And then the Howler, 4 is going to go for Brash. Brash gets hit for 2 damage. All right, here we go. We are going to cast some spells. Amelia is going to cast. I'm going to denote that it's spent. She's going to cast soothing touch on herself and get 5 hit points back. Tiquan is going to do poison stream. He says, "To heck with this. This is terrifying." 2 attacks with 5 fight on 2 different opponents. So he's spitting poison. Time to spit some poison. And he's going to go after Man-headed and then Claude. So here's Man-headed. 1, 2, 3. Man-headed takes 3 damage of 12. Jeez, that dude's huge. So takes 3 damage, so he has 9. And then he goes after the next guy, 1, 2, 3, and that is Claude. 3, so Claude has 6. Claude. It's like Claude is his name. Claude. 6. Akiro's going after Claude with 6. Did I do 6 last time or 5? I feel like I only did 5. Akiro, come on, Akiro. 1, 2, 3. All right. Claude takes 3 damage. And Brash is going to hit Claude 2. He only gets 2, remember? Great. Well, we still have NPCs. All right. Claude's done to 1. Let's see if this happened last time where she went and I felt like I was wasting her attack, but maybe not. She kills Claude. Poor Claude. All right, that's cool. Claude's dead. And then we got Marcelo, who wants to go after. He's going to go after Man-headed because he has attacks and he's high up. And so Marcelo gets 3. And Marcelo's killing it. No. Man-headed's over here. So he's 7. It's a big battle. This is a good example of how battle works. And I hope I'm doing it all right. With NPCs even. All right, Man-headed is on the prowl. Man-headed's still mad at Amelia. Man-headed has 6 and needs 4. 2 damage to Amelia. And then Howling is going to go after Brash, just because. 3 to Brash. Brash is hurting. All right. Amelia is going to cast Armor of Heaven with a +3 armor to Brash for the rest of the battle, just because she's starting to get a crush on the dude, I think. Tiquan is going to attack Manheaded with one big fist, one tiny little wizard fist. Doesn't go out much. And he rolls a 1. He would just punch just like you'd think he would. But we got Akiro on the prowl. 5 + 6. 5 + 6 is not what I meant to say. 1, 2, 3. Hits him for 3 damage. Down to 4. Brash. Brash is 2. Gets them both. Labici. One. She's terrible. And then Marcelo. 1. Perfect. I wanted to show this. Now we've got old boy who's left. The Howling Conjoint is going to attack Brash now. So, Brash has armor. Let's see if Conjoint even hits him first. Hopefully he does 4+. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Okay. So, he hits Brash for 3 damage because he needs a 4 or above. But Brash is wearing armor. Sort of. Casted armor. If your party members are wearing armor, they can attempt to reduce the health damage they take in combat. Roll a number of dice equal to that party member's armor score or equal to the amount of damage they have taken, whichever is less. For every 4, 5, or 6 on your score, for every 4, 5, or 6 you score on your armor save, you can reduce the damage taken by 1 point. So I have 3 armor, and I've taken 3 damage. So I would roll the amount, whichever is less. So those are the same numbers, 3 and 3. So if I get a 4, 5, or 6, I can reduce 1, 2. Perfect. I only took 1 damage of that 3. Thank you, Amelia. That is not what... 4. All right. Amelia's mad. She's used up all her spells in this first fight like an idiot. She's feeling stupid, and she's just going to swing like a crazy monkey. And she hits for 1. This is the first time Homeboy's been hit. He has 13, I believe, right? Where was I? She did what? 1? She did 1. So he has 12. The Khan's a little embarrassed by that last outburst, and he doesn't want to look stupid, so he's like, well, check this out. Ice Bolt! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he's like, see? See? And that's gone. I'm guessing you probably wouldn't want to waste all your spells like this right off the bat. Akiro, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Woo, doggy. Akiro just sabers the snot out of that guy. Nope. He has 2 left. And then Brash, 2. Can we finish him off and not use our NPCs? We certainly cannot. Labici. Labici kills the Howler. Nice. It has been a desperate battle. The remaining pirates managed to kill one of the beasts, but there is no doubt that they would have been slain without your help. The other prisoners who were being transported with you still seem in good health, and thank you dearly as you release them from their bonds. Record C5. By the gods, what are these horrors? Spits Jason as he glances down at the corpse of the vile creatures. All eyes turn to Labici in the hopes that, as a native of the area, she can answer. How should I know? She replies. The work of necromancers, maybe. We're not far from Dosos, and their sorcerers have caused trouble before. You'd have to be pretty twisted to make things like these, says Marcello. I don't know. They don't look like they were made by human craft.
So guys, that's it for the sample play. I hope you enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I don't want to give you too much more. There's still a bunch of that sample book left to go, and you can make decisions that I didn't make and go a whole different way. I think I gave you most of the rules. We haven't got into armies yet or ships. We did get a code there at the end. I assumed that my NPCs were loosely had their bounds. Why can't I say this word? Had their binds loosened. Their ropes were cut. They were free, okay? And we kicked butt on those nasties. So here it is. This is how it works. Man, I love this artwork. That is so cool. Check out that city. I like it, man. And it's supposed to be a big old fat book, and I'm gonna unbox the #2 when I get it, and I'm gonna probably back this for sure. Really dig this book so far. The story just took a weird turn. So yeah, this ought to be great. And I love it. It's neat. There's so many. It adds so many elements to the normal solo adventure type thing. With there's romance I haven't mentioned that could happen, and just being able to own stuff and be able to move back and forth between the map. And from what I understand, different books. I think you can go back in books. I could be wrong on that. But regardless, it looks like a lot of fun. I think June 14th is when their Kickstarter comes out. I'll put the link below. I'll put all those links below, and you can check it out. And you know, if you like it, great. If you want to see some other things, let me know. Don't forget to like or subscribe and hit the bell and give me comments. I love talking to my old role-playing, classic role-playing homies and homerts. And yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Peace out.